Guys, today's video is going to be a good one. We're going to go over a lot of different information. I want to help shift your thought process and help you start thinking outside the box. We're going to talk about how to buy a house with 0% interest, with 0 down payment, and what that can do for you. We're going to compare it to a traditional buy, fix, and refinance strategy because I know a lot of you young entrepreneurs are trying to figure out how to build your passive income and get into equity and cash flow models, but you're stuck wholesaling and flipping houses because you're not financeable and you think you need to be so. Guys, you can buy houses directly from the homeowner. So let's take a look at this house right here. We're going to look at this in 2 different ways, and we're going to look at it in a way that you can go in a couple different directions, right? So this house right here, we're going to assume that we're going to be able to buy it and it's rent ready as is. We're not talking about buying a junker, guys, because that's going to change a lot of different aspects of the deal because you're going to have to repair it. You're going to have money to do that. But we're going to talk about if you just came across the house that was rent ready as is, the homeowner wanted to sell it, and it's worth $100,000 ARV or market value. And if you rented it right now, you get about $1,200 for it. Now over here, guys, what I want to do is I want to talk about 2 different ways to buy this house and one that you're probably not even thinking about right now. 0%, 0 down payment. But first, guys, let's look at the bottom one first. I'm going to kind of do this in a reverse strategy. Let's look at what we already know. A lot of people are out there talking about a buy, fix, and refinance, a BRRRR method strategy, right? We're going to buy it, we're going to rehab it, rent it, refinance, and repeat, right? So we're talking about cycling our money to get into rental properties. So this is the traditional way that most people are going to buy this house. They're going to find a house that's worth $100,000 and they're going to go make an offer anywhere between 50 cents on the dollar and 80 cents on the dollar. But most of you who are trying to leave no cash in the deal, if it's rent ready and you're not going to have to repair it, you're going to need to get this house for about $70,000 because you're going to have some carrying costs and closing costs and some other fees in there, so that when you go and buy the house for $70,000, by the time you go back to the bank a few months down the road and do an $80,000 cash out refi, you're going to be in a good position to not have to leave too much money in or no money at all. Okay, so assume we're buying this house. We're going to buy it up, fix it up. It's already fixed up, but traditionally you're going to fix it up, but we're going to finance out on this one and put an amortizing loan on there. In order to create that cash flow and the equity pay down over time, you're going to have to not only have it, you're going to have to get away from the interest-only loan you used to buy it and get into an amortizing loan so it pays down over time, if that makes sense. So we're assume that you bought the house. You got it accepted for $70,000. You bought it with a high interest only loan, like a hard money loan, a credit line, some type of private lender, something that you're gonna have to pay quite a bit of money on just to borrow that money. Now you're gonna own it for about 6 months. Most banks are requiring a 6-month seasoning period. Then you're gonna go and you're gonna get it rented during this time to show that it's rented, that it's that it's up and operating. You're getting $1,200 a month to show that there's good cash flow. Then you're gonna go back to the bank and you're gonna refinance out into an amortizing loan, right? A 30-year, for this example, we're going to use an $80,000 loan, 30 years at 5.25%, which is pretty typical for what most people are getting at this present moment across the country. Now that's going to result over here, guys, in a total of 360 payments of $159,000 over the course of the loan by the time you own the house free and clear. Now during the course of the loan, you're going to have a PITA. That's your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, right? These are the main costs associated with owning real estate. Your principal is going to be $92 a month to start. Your interest is going to be $350, taxes $200, and the last one, guys, their insurance is $150. Okay, that's going to add up to about $792 a month. So that's some pretty good cash flow. $1,200 minus your $792 is what your month-to-month cash flow is. Now the problem is it's going to take you 30 years to do this deal. You're going to have quite a bit of money up front because most people who are borrowing hard money are doing 2 points up front, origination, closing costs, then they're having to fund the rehab draws, and then they're having to come up out of pocket to fund the gap funding a lot of times because they're not getting the full loan. We'll have other videos talking about this. So what is a different way that you guys can buy properties and start building passive income and cash flow day one in your business where you don't have to wholesale everything away or flip everything away, right? Because the only way you're ever going to hit your financial goals, guys, is to own properties over time, acquiring equity or getting passive income in some different way, right? You cannot just go out there and flip your way to millions of dollars. Now, some people can, very few can, and they're in high average sales price markets, which are very volatile, and you hear about their good years, but you don't hear about what happens when they get destroyed when the market turns, which we're headed into right now. So let's take the same house, guys, and look at it up here. We're gonna buy this house with 0%, 0 down payment. So assume that 10 different investors went over there. They're all one-trick ponies. What are they doing? They're all offering the same lowball cash offer, telling the homeowner the exact same thing. They're all saying, let me give you $70,000 for the house, walk away, I'll get closed in a week, right? All hassle on me. What if you went from a different approach and said, I'm not like every other person out here, but you went to the homeowner and said, okay, I don't have, so from your side in, you're thinking, I don't have a lot of money. I have just enough to get in this property and pay the closing costs and to get it up and stabilized, right? Get a tenant in there. So if you don't have the money to get into a hard money loan or do a deal like this one down here, like everybody else is doing, how do you start buying rentals? This is how. Now, you do not have to offer above asking right away, but I do this, I think you should be doing this, is my opinion, to show a stronger offer, right? Because if you're offering only 80, 90,000, they're gonna say, why would I waste waiting this extra time to go get this money? But by doing it this way, guys, let's look at it and kind of pay close attention here. So let's say you go and offer the homeowner $105,000. Remember, the house is only worth $100,000. And you wanna make sure that they know the house is only worth $100,000. So say, Mr. or Mrs. Homeowner, I'm willing to offer you more than the house is worth, but I need to do it on my terms. I'm gonna make this offer to you, $600 a month, 0% interest with 0 down payment, but I'm gonna pay you $105,000, which is $35,000 more than $70,000, which is what most people have been offering them, guys. Half of $70,000 is what? $35,000, right? $35,000 on top of $70,000 is $105,000, so you're offering the homeowner 50% more. Now, if they're willing to wait to get their money, they're gonna make a lot more money, and you're gonna have a lot better deal, because here's how it works. That's equivalent, $105,000, say, Mr. or Mrs. Homeowner, I'll pay you $600 a month, every single month, until the $105,000 is paid off. It's gonna take about 175 payments, or 175 months. If you take that 175 and divide it by 12, or take that 175 and divide by 12, you got 14.583 years before they pay off that entire loan. So down here, guys, remember, we're doing a 30-year loan. So that's half the time. So you're gonna get the property to pay off in half the time, right? Now the numbers are gonna change a little bit over here. You're gonna make a little bit less cash flow, but you're gonna have principal 600, 0 interest, which is so important to understand why this is better to do it this way. Then you have the same taxes and insurance. Now what you wanna do, guys, is ask if you can start making the monthly payment on month 2 or 3, giving you time to get the rental property up and going. Now, if they're willing to sell you the house on terms like this, guys, they're probably willing to work with you a little bit there as well. This way you can come out of pocket even less than just your closing costs to get into the deal. So you're getting the house with no down payment, with no interest, which means it's rapidly paying down. There's 100% amortized. It's paying down immediately, right? So you're gonna pay off the property faster. So let's take a look at the benefits over here. So the benefits are, you need less cash out of pocket to do this type of deal, right? You don't have to have the points up front, the gap funding, and all those extra costs associated with the deal. You can get it free and clear faster, right? 14.583 years versus 30 years in half the time, right? And another one I just thought of, I didn't even put up here, that you're benefiting the homeowner. If they don't need the money now and they're willing to wait, they're gonna put more money in their pocket. Less competition. Everybody's doing this. You're gonna have to compete against everybody and convince that homeowner to go with you and your company while the other company is giving the exact same thing. Apples to apples to apples. Why not throw an orange in the mix, right? Pay less over the course of the loan. Remember, you're only gonna pay $105,000 to have a free and clear property in less than 15 years, whereas over here, you're gonna end up paying the bank $159,000 to have it free and clear in 30 years. And guys, unless you own a ton of rental properties, you're really not gonna be able to live off the cash flow. The big power of owning real estate over time is that equity that pays down over time. And then the last one, this allows you to buy more houses. You have another tool in your tool bag, another golf club in your golf bag, right? It's allowing you to come in and make multiple offers, guys. And remember, the power of making multiple offers is they choose which offer to take instead of yes or no when you're offering one lowball cash offer. So it's just important to understand that there's 2 different ways to do this. Now, I want to point out that yes, could be risky, right? I'm not giving you legal advice on this channel. I'm just giving you thought processes to maybe open up your thinking process on how you can buy properties. Because let's say that you buy this house for $105,000, the tenant comes in the property, doesn't make the payments, damages the property, and you don't have any cash to fix it up, and you can't make this underlying payment anymore. What are you gonna do? You're gonna have to sell the property. And if you owe $105,000 on it, or $99,000 or $97,000, it's only paid down a little bit, and you're not able to get the full value, you're gonna have to come up with the cash somewhere, right? So there are some risks associated with this, but if you have the discipline and understand how to do this correctly, guys, you're gonna pick up more properties, they're gonna pay down quicker. Now, what happens if they don't wanna take 0% or 0 down payment? Now you start working in little variations of this. Okay, well, what if I gave you $3,000 down, 0% interest, and paid you the same amount? Or what if I paid you $700 a month? And you start tweaking in different areas, and you start to feel, and by engaging with them, what they think is, what they feel is important to them. Do they want down payment cash up front? Do they want to get some type of interest rate? Do they want more per month? So guys, you can start tweaking these, But eventually, once you start going down that process, a lot of times you can work out a deal with the homeowner. So I don't want to go too deep in here and explode your guys' heads too much, but I just wanted to impress upon you that you do not have to be financeable. You do not have to work with a bank. You can work directly with the homeowner. They're going to finance it directly to you. You're going to have it done correctly with promissory note, deed of trust, everything done like a traditional sale. And you can save a lot of money, at least out of pocket, coming in to do these deals. And how many deals can you do if you don't have to bring basically hardly anything to deal as compared to bringing a lot more down here? So faster pay down, a little bit less cash flow on the front end, but it's just a different way of thinking about things, guys. I hope you liked today's video. If you do, subscribe to the channel, share it around. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Have a good day.